So, these incredible AI tools are popping up everywhere, and they're completely changing how we work. But you know what? They've also created a brand new dilemma. How do you give your entire team the power of these tools without just throwing your security out the window? Well, that's exactly the challenge we're going to tackle today. This is the big one, right? The million-dollar question. You've paid for this amazing subscription, but the idea of just emailing the password to everyone, it feels risky, it feels messy. It's a huge headache for pretty much any modern team. And today, we're going to walk through how to solve it. To really get a handle on this, let's look at a real-world example. We're going to focus on a super powerful creative tool that teams are really excited to share. For our case study today, we're talking about Lovart AI. So what is Lovart AI? Well, imagine you had a design agent that you could just talk to. No complicated software, no steep learning curve, just natural conversation. It's like having a creative partner that can whip up anything from a slick new logo to an animated video, all based on what you tell it to do. And check this out. The range of stuff this thing can do is just wild. We're not talking about just making a few simple images. This thing can generate professional price lists, whole product catalogs, and even AI-powered mockups in all the standard formats you'd expect. It can dream up a brand mascot for you and then bring it to life with video and lip syncing. It's basically an entire creative department in a box. And you know why it's catching on so fast? Because it's just so easy to use. The whole process is basically 3 simple steps. You talk to it, just describe what you're looking for, you tab through all the different options it spits out, and then you tune the one you like, making little tweaks right there on the canvas. It's simple, it's fast, and it's incredibly powerful. Okay, so you might be wondering, why would a team go for a tool like this instead of, just hiring a traditional designer? Understanding the pros and cons here is really key to seeing why this whole account sharing problem is such a big deal. And when you put them side by side, it's pretty clear. Lovart AI is just unbelievably fast. It turns days of waiting into a matter of minutes. The cost? Well, that shifts from pricey project fees to a simple, predictable subscription. Now look, a human designer brings that emotional depth that an AI can't match, for sure, but the accessibility of the AI tool is just undeniable. There's practically no learning curve. This example really brings it home. Think about a small business. They can't afford to wait around for days just to get some holiday banners made. With a tool like this, they can generate dozens of ideas, tweak the text and colors, and get them live on their website that same afternoon. For a small team, that kind of speed is an absolute game changer. So, okay, the tool is awesome, it's fast, it's cost-effective, the whole team is on board, but that brings us right back to the big problem. How does everyone actually use it together? I mean, it just makes sense why teams want to share one account, right? You want to save money instead of buying 5 different subscriptions. You need a few people chipping in on a big project to hit a deadline. Or maybe you want to bring in a freelance copywriter for a campaign. All of these situations point to using one single shared account. And here's the catch, a huge one. Just passing around the username and password is a really, really bad idea. You're exposing sensitive login info, you have no idea who has access anymore, and you might even be breaking the AI services rules, which could get your whole account shut down. All right, enough about the problem. Let's talk about the solution, because there is a way to get that seamless team collaboration without all the security nightmares. Let's dig into how you can build a secure bridge for your team to work together. Now, the answer here isn't what you might think. We're not talking about just another password manager. This is a totally different approach. It involves using a special kind of browser called an anti-detect browser that's built for secure, isolated sessions. The specific one we're looking at today is called DICloak. So let's break down how this actually works. It's way more than just hiding a password. It basically puts the entire browser session inside a locked box. It can block people from getting into developer tools, which stops them from stealing sensitive data. You can set it to only allow access to certain websites like Lovart AI. It can even hide stuff like your billing info right on the page. Okay, so that's the big idea. But how do you actually do it? Let's walk through the steps. I promise it's actually more straightforward than you might think. Here's the whole process in a nutshell. First up, you create a new, totally isolated browser profile just for Lovart AI. Then you set up something called a proxy, which gives it a stable IP address so you don't raise any red flags with the service. You log in once inside this secure bubble. After that, you just flip on a mode for simultaneous access. And finally, you share the entire profile with your team, not the password. And this is the key takeaway, the most important thing to remember. It's a complete shift in thinking. You're getting away from the risky old habit of sharing passwords and moving toward the much safer practice of sharing a controlled, sandboxed environment where the work can get done. Your team gets the access they need, and your actual login details stay completely safe. And that kind of leaves us with this one big thought. As these AI tools become less like simple software and more like actual collaborators we work with, the whole question of access becomes so much more important. The old ways of just handing over the keys to the studio, they just don't work anymore. The future of creative work really depends on finding new, secure ways to decide who gets to come inside.